guys, welcome back. So I filmed this contour video. It's an in-depth contour video. I tried to do it on my last video, but the camera kept turning off, which is the same thing that kept happening while I was filming this. I was patient and waited for the camera to just, start acting right. Now, and a lot of friends have been asking me how to contour, so this is how I contour. This is how I contour for my face shape, and it's a little bit of tips. Hopefully I'll get some friends that have different face shapes and show you guys how to contour those face shapes as well. It's oval, and this is to my best ability. Alright guys, so if you want to see how to contour, then just keep watching. The buzzing noise is finally gone from outside. I guess they finally opened. There's a religious, or I think it's a Christian or a Catholic store. They don't open till 12, so when their lights are off, all you hear is buzzing, and it's already 12:45. I use this to moisturize my face. I use the Aveno Ultra Calming Daily Moisturizer, and then I let that sit and moisturize for like 30 minutes, and then I go in with the First Base NYX Primer Spray. So I'm using the Loreal True Match Lumi Foundation, and I use W4. It's a little bit darker than my neck and my hands. I bought this for spring and summer, but I really wanted to use it again. I use that to prep my face. I know a lot of people contour first and then they mix it all in with foundation, but I tend to do foundation first. I had went in with my Conceal, Correct, and Contour from NYX. It's just a cream contour. It's in the shade Light, but I like to use the salmon color just to cancel out the darkness underneath my eye. Now for contouring and highlighting. A majority of the time I like to use just a regular concealer, liquid, cream, anything like that. And you want to get 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. For the most part, I use my Fit Me concealer in 15 and 10. And then I use this Glamifage from Hard Candy. It's in the color Ultra Light. This one is super heavy, but it does the job. So there's that one, but today I'm going to be using my NYX Wonderstix, and I have it in the color Light Medium. It comes with the dark shade, and then it comes with the yellow light shade. Also for contouring, just a darker concealer in the color Deep. It's just a regular, I might actually just use one side on one face. I'll use the stick on one side of my face, and then I'll use these other 2 products on the other side of my, you guys can see the difference. Alright, so what I like to do is highlight first. What I'm going to do is highlight underneath my eyes and create a triangle. We just want to brighten up the under eye. Everything that we're highlighting, we're going to pop out, and then everything that we're going to contour is going to recede. I forgot to mention that I have an oval face, so every face shape is going to have a different way to contour. I'm just giving you tips on how I contour my face and what works best for me. Sometimes I just like to contour with powders if I'm just doing something quick for work. So highlight basically is, it's balancing out when you contour to create the depth and to reshape your face. So we're creating the illusion that our face is going to be a little bit slimmer and more defined. Like I said, all I'm going to be doing is highlighting underneath the eye, on the chin, and then on the top of my forehead. And then I'm going to go underneath the cheekbone, basically where the contour is going to go up here and on the bottom of my chin, so I want to at least balance it out right here. So I'm just going to add a little bit right here. And then a little bit on the Cupid's bow just to brighten it up. A little bit on the sides of my lips because I have a lot of darkness there, so I want to bring light to it. I'm going to do the bridge of my nose. You're just going to want to draw a straight line. So and there's that with the cream. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer. Okay. Now it's going to be the contour section, okay? This one's actually the one that's more important because this is what's going to shape your face the most. And you don't want to get anything too dark, but you want to get 2 shades darker than your face. I'm going to use the contour side, the darker side of this stick. So this is my tip for finding out where your cheekbone is besides the whole fishy face thing. So what I like to do is to measure where my ear ends right here, and I like to measure it all the way to the tip of my lip, and that's where I'm going to be putting the darker shade. Right there. And you can make it thicker or thin, a thin line. I like to make it like kind of medium, because I'm going to be blending this upward versus down, because we're going to try to make the cheekbone appear. So if you could see the more detailed on my face, now my face is looking more defined, so this is where it's going to look hollow, is what I want, because I wasn't blessed with like amazing cheekbones. I'm going to do it underneath where the jawline is, because sometimes I feel I have a double chin. Underneath the chin, just to define my chin a little bit more. So I don't know if you can see that line there. You're basically like creating a 3 on your face. I just don't like to connect it until I blend. I don't like to put so much on my face, so you can do the whole 3 detail and connect it from here to here to here, but I like to leave it empty so when I blend, I can blend it in so it's not too noticeable. And then I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead. You're trying to make your face look smaller and more compact, so the more dark that you put around here is going to make it a little bit smaller. The only reason I'm putting contour on the top is just to blend it out and look more bronze, because I don't want to look flat on the top and then like very defined on the bottom. I accidentally put the creamer on this side, but I'm going to be taking this one out and doing the exact same thing to my other side of my face. Now when it's coming to contour my nose, I use a more precise brush. It is this detailer brush from Real Techniques, and I like it because it's small and precise. I don't like the shape of my nose. I just don't like the shape of my nose. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I think it's because it's very, not flat, but my nose is just there. No definition whatsoever. What I'm doing is taking this little brush and dipping into the dark shade. And on the sides of it, you're going to create a shadow so it looks completely different. And also where your nose, like where you feel the bone of your nose, you don't want to put it on top of there because you're trying to make your nose smaller, so you want to go a little bit above and then blend it downward. You put it where the bone is, you're basically just accentuating what you don't want to accentuate. So that's why I'm going a little bit higher and closer to where I have put the highlight. And then I'm going to create like a little arch right here. That way it looks more natural, and then it kind of looks like I have a button nose. Eventually I'm going to put more of the highlight shade right here. I like to use an angled brush. This is the one from Real Techniques. It's called the sculpting brush. I like to use this one to blend out the highlight. To blend out the contour. I like blending out the contour first and then going over with the highlight, and then going again with this brush so whatever's left over can just, you know, overlap. And then I go in with my foundation brush just to blend it all together. But if you just have a foundation brush like this one from Sigma, it's the F60. It's just a flat foundation brush. I'm just gonna blend it out and you guys can check it out. I always tend to start at the chin and just blend downward first and blend it to the neck. That way there's no like harsh line there. And then I'll blend it upward a little bit and then a little bit inward like this. So I don't know why I like to do this section last. So what I'm going to do is blend this downward and then flip the brush and blend upward and try to blend it in with the highlight. And then tap it a little bit, that way it blends in. Because the thing with the highlight, a lot of people blend it like all together. And with the highlight, what you want to do for the most part is pat it. You don't have to blend between the dark and the light shade. If it's just like this, I like to pat it because you're brushing away and you're like blending away the white, so it's just gonna mix with your foundation. So you want to pat it for the most part, that way that highlight stays there versus going all over your face. Now that we have that blended, I'm gonna blend this one. So I'm gonna blend it upward, and I'm gonna use, see how it's angled? So what I'm gonna do is gonna put it here and then blend upward. Very lightly, just strokes upward. And if it looks too harsh for you, I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush and blend everything together so it doesn't create such harsh lines. But see how the bottom right here, I'm going to blend it inward and up with the dark shade very lightly. And then I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to turn it this way and then blend it together. Sideways. So you're just going to want to blend however you feel is best for you. Now to blend this highlight, I don't use the same brush. I like to use different brushes, and then eventually, like I said, I go back in. So I'm going to be using this Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to pat the highlight. I can't regret leaving you alone until you find your way back home. And see how it's bringing so much brightness here, and this is making my cheekbones look more defined. And that's exactly what you want to do. So I pat it in, and then I pat this side right here. And my camera died before I added this on the bottom. This is going to make your lips look a little bit fuller. So I'm going to pat that there. And I'm going to use the one that I use with my foundation. Where the highlight and the contour meet, I'm going to blend it a little bit. That way it doesn't look crazy. I really recommend getting this brush. I love this brush. A lot of people like to use it for concealer, so they use it upside down and then they can blend out their concealer. But personally, I like using it to sculpt out my face because it's called a sculpting brush. So now to contour the nose, I'm going to be using that small detailer brush and then blending the contour outward little by little. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. So I'm going to be using my Lorac Contour Pro on one side and then my Anastasia Contour on the other side. But for the most part, to set the under eye concealer, I like to use a setting powder. RCMA, this is the one I've been using the most, so I'm going to use this one on both sides. With cream contour or liquid concealer, baking will make it last longer than just setting it with powder really quick and then boom, out the door. So if you're going to be going somewhere, you definitely want to bake. So you're going to want to put the setting powder to bake most likely where you highlighted. We're gonna let that sit, and then I go in with a bigger fluffy brush. This is the Morphe E3, and then I grab this, so what's left of this, and just set my face. And the good thing about this powder is a no color powder, so it's not gonna mess up the hard contour work we did. To contour, everybody raves about this Morphe M523. I was so excited to use it, but I don't know, I prefer my contour brush from Real Techniques. Do on both sides so y'all can check it out. The Lorac contour palette. The only thing about this one is it doesn't have like that much of a gray toned contour powder. You want a gray shade, but you don't want it to look too muddy, so you're trying to find the perfect in between. That way it looks like a shadow and not just bronzer, okay? But this one doesn't have one. The Anastasia one does, so you're gonna see that on the sides, the other side of my face, so you guys can kind of tell the difference. It's not that big of a difference, but it helps out a lot when it's like more of a gray cool tone. So I'm gonna just be taking the Morphe brush and using the light contour first, and then I'll build my way up. Start first. You're basically placing it where you applied that cream contour. So I like to just dab it in first so it sets, and then I'll blend upward. And for the most part, you're gonna want to blend up, because then you're gonna have to do a lot more work to make this lighter and create that chiseled look. Now, to get that chiseled look, I'm gonna be taking this Morphe 460 brush. It's just completely flat. The bottom of mine. So I'm just gonna be taking that powder and dipping it in there. Okay. Tap it out a little bit. So you're gonna get that defined line. Now I'm gonna be using the Anastasia contour kit and the other brush. I'm gonna be using this color. I don't know what it's called. I hate that I cannot take this out of here. I'll find it and then I'll list it down below so you guys can see that, because I can't pry it open. But I'm just gonna be using this gray toned one here. I'm taking the Real Techniques brush and then just grabbing that and basically doing the same thing as before. You can see this brush blends it a lot better than the other one. The other one just like leaves that harsh line. So this one, and I just placed my brush, I don't know if you can see, but this, I cup it and this holds it, and then this, so it's a steady line. I like that it's flat down here versus this brush, which is rounded. So this sits nicely on my hand and I can just keep that straight line. I don't know how you can see, this one's more warm and this one's a little bit more cool, and it creates that shadow. And eventually when I go back in with a bronzer to bronze up my face, this is going to be a lot warmer and look more tan compared to this one. This one's gonna, I'm gonna put bronzer on it and it's gonna look hollow still, and then bronze. You don't have to do this step, but I'm going to go in with the banana powders and set underneath my eyes just to give it a little bit more brightness. I'm going to be taking the yellow highlight from the Lorac one and just going to dab it on there. Okay, now I'm going to be taking the Anastasia banana powder and using the same brush. I like to contour with the Anastasia one. That's the one that I use the most. Same brush from Sigma, the E40, and use this to contour my nose with. And if I want a precise line, then I go in with a smaller brush. Alright, so I'm going to put the rest of my face on and then I'll be right back. Alright, so the rest of my face is on, and that is how you contour and highlight. I hope you guys get some use out of this, some tips. I hope I explained it correctly, and I hope the audio works, honestly. Like I'm saying, you can also just contour using powders. I just decided to do both and combined it. I really don't have anything else to say other than thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button if you like what you see. Comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.